Everybody is talking about the SpaceX price. The one story that not many people are talking about is the lockup schedule for SpaceX. I'm Tom the Investing Tiger, and in this episode, I'm going to cover 6 key dates or time periods, along with one price that you should be aware of if you're considering buying SpaceX stock. So, why is the lockup period important with this IPO? The SpaceX IPO has been historic and different in a lot of ways, and the lockup schedule is really no different. Typically, most IPOs have what's called the cliff lockup, 180 days after the lockup, 6 months. Insiders, it's a bit of a free for all. They can sell. What's going to take place is more of a tiered lockup schedule with SpaceX. So that's why I'm kind of going over this, so you can not only focus on, hey, what SpaceX is trading at today, but kind of overlay it with like additional stock that might be coming on the market that could influence the price. So the first date that you want to really be aware of is the mid-August timeframe. There's not an exact date yet, but SpaceX is anticipated to report earnings the first time as a publicly traded company in mid-August. So there's a couple things to step through there. Why is that important? Insiders, early investors will be able to sell up to 20% of their holdings at that point, or actually 2 days after the earnings are announced. But there's a kicker there. There's a but. The but is if this is the price that you might want to focus on. If SpaceX trades at $175.50, 30% above its IPO price, for 5 of the 10 days before the earnings period, insiders can sell an additional 20% of their holdings. Now, they're not required to, they're not obligated to, and it might not be a free for all. They might have diamond hands and really hold on for the long haul. The second thing to consider is what I call time-based tranches, and they are going to start coming at us 70 days after the IPO and about every 15 to 20 days after that. So what does that mean? On the 70th day after the IPO, so again, right around mid-August, that puts us, we're going to start seeing up to 7% of insiders selling on the stock. Again, they don't have to, so that will occur at 70 days, 90 days, 105 days, 120, and 135 days after the IPO. So those are 2 key dates so far. Well, guess what? We get to do it all again in November because it will be time for the second quarterly report for SpaceX as a publicly traded company. And it's a little bit different, but pretty similar. In this case, there is no price target that restrains or limits selling at day 180. At that quarterly release, there's a 28% amount. So 28% of an insider shares could be sold. Again, that's just up to that amount. Day 180, this is where we get into the traditional, it feels more like a typical IPO cliff like. So 6 days in, that puts us mid-December. I think it's December 8th is what it falls on the calendar. Insiders, with the exception of Elon Musk, who is a majority shareholder, and select institutions, they can start selling their stock. So we've covered the 4 things to watch out for. So the calendar looks pretty clear as we go into 2027. So that's why I really say we should start getting a sense of price discovery this time in August, late August through September. And who knows what the macro environment's going to be like in the market as we go into the fall. The other couple key dates to look for are March through August 2027. That's where some select institutions, designated shareholders, Google comes to mind. That's when they can start selling shares, again, if they want to. And then finally, don't think this is going to be a pump and dump or all the shares come on the market. That's when Elon Musk at day 366 puts it about June 12th, 2027. That's when he's free and able to sell shares. So I hope you find this informative. If you like this type of content, specifically in a balanced, hopefully an informative manner where it's not hyperbolic related to the space economy, AV, EVs, stuff like that, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.